Welcome to Art History, High Renaissance and Mannerism in Northern Europe and Spain. Europe in the early 16th century. In the 16th century, societies in Northern Europe experienced major political and cultural shifts that are reflected in their art. France and the Holy Roman Empire increased their power and size. By the end of the century, Spain was the dominant power in Northern Europe. Monarchs commissioned artworks to glorify their reigns. A growing class of merchants increasingly commissioned and collected art as well. Early in the century, the Reform movement sparked religious conflict throughout large areas of Northern Europe, and artists developed new expressions of Protestant ideals. Despite the Reform's criticism of Catholicism, European states continued active cultural exchange with Italy and absorbed the ideals of Italian Renaissance humanism. In the Holy Roman Empire, the painter and printmaker Albert Dürer became the first international artist celebrity outside Italy. In France, King Francis I admired Italian art, and French architecture of this period reflects a mix of Italian and Northern Renaissance elements. Netherlands in the 16th century was a prosperous country, and artists such as Peter Bruegel enjoyed the patronage of burgeoning merchant class. Netherlandish painters are known for their inventive, often enigmatic forms and narratives, best exemplified by the work of the country's leading painter, Hieronymus Bosch. Spanish architecture in the 16th century is characterized by abundant, delicate ornamentation. El Greco was the leading painter in the 16th century Spain, cultivating a style that combined Spanish religious fervor and the exaggerated forms of Italian Mannerism. Grunewald's Isenheim altarpiece addresses the human condition. He uses bold colors and sharp contrasts for suffering. For the redemption, he uses soft colors and subtle contrasts for peace and hope. The Isenheim altarpiece opened. Albert Dürer's great piece of turf illustrates his concept that any subject can be a great painting. His skill as a draftsman is shown in the details of his self-portrait. His Fall of Adam and Eve. Night, Death, and the Devil engraving by Dürer. Albrecht Altdorfer's landscape of this battle scene was derived from maps. Unique is the bird's eye view perspective. Oil and tempera were used to paint the French ambassadors. The artist Hans Holbein the Younger includes an anamorphic image that can only be viewed from an angle. Most scholars believe that the skull refers to mortality. Hans Holbein the Younger, Portrait of Henry VIII. Portrait of Francis I, King of France, by Jean Glou. France's the first Chateau de Chambord has 3 levels in the Renaissance style. However, the skyline of the roof is Gothic. One interpretation of Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights is that it is based on the magic of alchemy, the magic of chemical changes. Many alchemists at the time were trying to make gold. Others see the panels as warnings of many avenues of sin. The scales tip toward the secular rather than religious in Quentin Massey's Money Changer and His Wife. Peter Artson's painting contrasts the life of Christ in the background scenes with the life of gluttony, lust, and sloth. Elizabeth I as princess is attributed to Lavinia Tierlich. Katrina van Hemissen advertises her skill in portraiture. Peter Bruegel the Elder's Netherlands proverbs contain more than 100 proverbs. His Hunters in the Snow, or Return of the Hunters. Charles V conceived the idea to build a dynastic pantheon. His son Philip II obeyed his father's wishes and built the Escorial near Madrid. It is a mausoleum, church, and palace. The Plateresque style church in Spain contains the coat of arms of both Ferdinand and Isabella, King and Queen of Spain. El Greco was the most expressive painter in Spain. He painted religious scenes with loose brushwork and shapes with blurred edges. Although his work is associated with Mannerism, it foreshadows the drama of later Baroque style. The Burial of Count Orgaz.